Hi, folks. Thanks for coming to my page and checking out my stuff. I'm here to just give you a couple instructions about my page and what I offer and whatnot, and kind of give you a little bit of a tour. So, if you want to receive regular updates, click on following and click see first. Normally, it's just set to the default function, which will just utilize Facebook's algorithm. And so you'll see the posts every once in a while, so to speak, unless you're liking the stuff pretty regularly. But otherwise, yeah, it's just an algorithm. I've got several hundred subscribers at this point in time, and it's not like all of them are seeing my posts, unfortunately. So if you click see first, it'll show up in your feed and it'll show up in your notifications, which is cool. So if you really like what I'm offering and that sort of thing, please go ahead and do that. And of course, you can do that for any Facebook page that you're interested in and that sort of thing. Then I wanted to talk about my website a little bit. If you haven't been to it, there's a lot of cool stuff on my website. First of all, you can press any one of these and it'll take you to a commentary on that specific sign. And I do recommend reading these in order as they build upon one another. And so you'll get a more whole picture when you read them in order and that stuff, but you don't have to. I've got my About Me, which I'm going to skip for now. I've got my Readings page, which is filled with a lot of different offerings, okay? So I've got tons of tarot offerings, for example, and I've got them at different prices. You can get a recording version, you can get a live version, or a written report. And this is my cheapest offering, the 3-card spread. And so the different spreads are different prices, and I tried to make something that everybody could afford or take advantage of. If you want to get a question session after ordering a recording or a written report, right, it's a little extra money. And basically what that is just a live session where I can answer additional questions you may have about the recorded reading of the spread or the written report version. I've got the Celtic Cross 6-month spread, 12-month spread, an open session where anything goes is about an hour long. Relationship spreads, the twin cross spread, which is something I created and perhaps I'll talk about at a future date, and the heart spread, which is based upon an existing spread that I sort of modified. And I may be adding more spreads, updating in the future and whatnot, but there's a whole bunch of stuff here that you could take advantage of. And I've also got some astrology offerings, such as single question or horary chart. Very useful and very practical service if you just need a certain question answered in a simple and clear manner. Then I've got chart-related inquiries. This is similar to reading a birth chart, but I found that there's really no such thing as a quote-unquote birth chart reading. You can't get through a whole chart in a session. So this is kind of my way of adapting to that. You give me specific questions and then I will answer them through writing, and you can also book a question session with that too. And then finally I have a remedial session, which is basically we focus on ways to find remedies and deal with sort of issues that you're having, or what I would call like energy blockages and that sort of thing. And then I have tutoring, which anything goes in the tutoring. You can ask me whatever you want, and so on and so forth. So a lot of different stuff I have there. If you go over to my reflection page, forgive me, my internet's being a little funky, so I already loaded this. I've got a blog that I'm more regularly updating now, but I've got quite a few articles that you can read about. I've even got my quote-unquote incorrect election predictions for 2016 up here. You can take a look at that and see what you think. I've got, this is an excellent page to visit, the Hows and Whys of Existence. Excuse me for a moment. Just plugging in the charger. Okay. Yeah, if you click this Manifest, this is a PDF compiled by a friend of mine, extremely wise individual. And it sort of outlines the various divisions of the cosmos and of man, and talks about like the different states of consciousness. And it's probably one of the best things I've ever encountered on these kinds of subjects, if not the best thing. And I've read, you know, most, I've studied most like major religious texts on some level, whether it's the Vedas, the Quran, or the Tao Te Ching, and so on. This is an incredible summation of all the stuff contained in that kind of stuff, and it's far more profound than probably any New Age book that you could spend way too much money on. So I encourage you to take a look at that, and hopefully at a certain point my friend will give me some other documents that I can upload here. And then I've got a brief page on astrology, which is pretty cool. Just some kind of short ramblings on it. And then I've got a tarot page in which I give some basic significations for all 22 major arcana, utilizing the French deck, the Tarot Marseille. And you know, this stuff is pretty simple. It's not the final word on any of it, but it's useful stuff, and it's a good way to just, you know, get a different perspective on the tarot and that sort of thing. And then I just recently added this planetarium page, which I'm really happy with right now. It gives an overview of the planets, and then if you click on each planet, right, you can get a commentary that I've written about the planet, assuming it will load. There we go. So I've given my commentary, and then basically I have these extensive quotes from this wonderful book on Sufic mysticism, which contains a lot about astrology within it, called Introduction to Sufi Doctrine by Titus Burckhardt. And I plan to do more with that in the future, but that's kind of my website, you know, so please check it out. And I am also regularly updating things on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube pretty easily. Just type in my name, right? Lars Panaro. Lars, Panaro. And yeah, here's my page. I'm going to be regularly updating it from now on. I just did a Gemini full moon thing for 2018 November, and I'll be doing more stuff like that. I'll be doing stuff on the planets, signs, houses. I hope to do monthly tarot readings and things like that for each sign. So I have a lot in store. So I hope that you will tune in more to what I have to offer. And thanks again for visiting my page.